the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, election fever is at its pitch with the candidate lists being out. And in fact, the first phase of elections will be upon us before we know it. But what are the narratives? What are the trends? And what are we going to be looking forward to in the next 2 months? Today on the roundtable, we are going to be discussing some of the emerging themes and also take a look at the analysis and the behind the scenes as to what prompted certain issues to come out. Should certain other issues have been taken up? Because also the other topic I want to discuss is, does development and governance issues win elections, or is it emotion? You have Prime Minister Modi saying famously, I am the issue. Indira Gandhi said, Main issue hu. Modi said that in 2019. There is always some emotional connect where, the BJP plays the Hindu card. What card does the Congress play? Or can the Congress do something to overcome the connect the Prime Minister has? Or is this election already a walkover? Joining me on the program today, I have with me RASHEED KIDWAI. He's the author of several books and a political historian and commentator and a senior journalist. NILANJAN Mukhopadhyay, also one of the people who's written, I think, one of the earlier books on Narendra Modi. He's written books on the RSS and the Ayodhya demolition and the temple. And of course, a political commentator. And PRAKASH, author, assistant professor at Patna University. He's also an expert on Dalit rights and a spokesperson with the BJP. But first, RASHEED, how do you see this election shaping up in terms of narrative building trends? Let's take a look at what the opposition is doing, because BJP, we have more or less a fair idea.
Yeah. So I think, Priya, first of all, election is being fought in a very contrasting style. These are powerful leadership, resources, etc. That's their part of NDA. The opposition story is looking very disjointed. I have not seen, elections since 1970s. Even it's 1977 election, I mean, I was young, but I could see that. But there was a lot of political leadership was there. There was a sense of ownership from the opposition point of view. There was a sense of ownership. JP movement was there. JP was himself there. Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, galaxy of leaders who were itching to, be prime minister. And of course, there was a, sort of Babu Jagjeevan Ram and several others who were the breakaway Congress. And of course, there was Indira Gandhi. So very fierce kind of contest among personality. Priya, we must remember Indian elections have always been about personality cult. The first Indian election that took place in 1951-52, the slogan was a vote for Congress is a vote for Nehru, not the other way around. So personality cult was very much there even in the first election, that people, we were told that if you vote for Congress, you will be strengthening hands of Jawaharlal Nehru. So this has been our legacy. I think the opposition got their sort of strategy wrong, because initially when it started in Patna, when Nitish Kumar was the real architect of that alliance, the idea from the Congress thinking was that they would pitch regional parties ahead, like Mamta, JDU, DMK, all these political parties would take a central stage because they are able to, tackle the BJP in an effective manner. They were proven track record, and the Congress would be there as a national political party assisting them. But somewhere during 5 state elections, everything went haywire, and Congress failed because Congress was hoping. When I say Congress, here it means Rahul Gandhi and his strategists were hoping that even if they went 2-3 states, they will be able to pitch Rahul Gandhi on a big ticket, Rahul versus Modi, and that didn't happen. So this has been a real, problem. It's a pity that a kind of towering contest is not taking place. But then again, Priya, voter in India is very unpredictable. Voter also favors, the underdog in some ways. So Congress and opposition is playing a victim card. They don't have resources, they don't have money, they are being they are pitted against a person who's using a lot of agencies and all that. I don't know whether it's going to be bought or not, but for me, this election is not a done deal. The outcome in Maharashtra, Bihar, and Karnataka, etc., and of course Bengal is of great interest to me.
We can add, I think, Orissa and other states also to it. But Nilanjan, your first take on the way opposition is handling these elections, and is the BJP right in saying that numbers ki ginti ki issue hai, otherwise it's a walkover?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with RASHEED what he said, and especially his last line. That he would not think that this is a done deal. In fact, no election is a done deal till the last results are in. We've had so many surprises. 77, of course, was a huge surprise. like Rashid, I was also, fairly young, definitely not a voter at that time, not really understanding politics, but yes, memories were there. So there was a general sense that the Congress is going to struggle, but nobody knew that they would struggle so much. And I do not think anybody ever thought that Indira Gandhi herself would lose the election to Raj Narayan. Those things happen. Even in 1989, no one realized that the Congress would actually come down. Their seats would get half. They were down to just about 204 or 205, like that, And even 2004, I remember, 2004, till the last day, everybody was saying here, it's a done deal. Nothing will happen. I still remember I used to be part of that was the first election where EVMs were used in all the 543 constituencies. And I was there involved with the Doordarshan news coverage on Doordarshan. And by about 11 o'clock, we could get away from the studio and then go and meet various people because it was absolutely clear. So you really can't say what the voter is going to do. Voter is actually very smart and it's not really offering, what is there in their mind to any of these surveyors. Having said that, that yes, what has happened between 2004 and 2024 is this explosion of the communication revolution, that you have information coming, so much crawling out. And you have this, we are also in the state of what we can call, the surveillance state. So we really do not know that the number of people who have their mobile phones, the kind of WhatsApp groups that they are watching, the video that they are seeing, that may possibly be giving some amount of, indication, macro data as to which way is the wind, blowing. So one of the perplexing things which I've seen in this particular election, that though last year onwards, it appeared that the opposition was going to be doing quite well. But as Rashid pointed out, that after the poor performance of the Congress in the 5 assembly states, states where it had the 5 assembly elections, thereafter things started sliding, and it's not as good as it could have been, what appeared to be at that time. There are large states, where there are no one-on-one contests, West Bengal most notably and several other places. But then, there's also the issue that are really one-on-one contests against the BJP, would it not end up, like in Bengal, there's an argument, that it would have only enabled the BJP to get all the anti-Mamta votes in Bengal. And now at least the left in the Congress would be able to get some, even if they get. So there are these arguments, but I think, that the rally itself, I wouldn't want to write it off. I would also say that the sympathy factor has been a very important part of Indian politics, and Indian tradition has a very long tradition of proxy ruling. You have in Jharkhand, you were likely to have at some point in Delhi between now and the 1st of June, Kejriwal, maybe either he comes out and then, of course, is going to be the Jagjivan Ram Bahuguna moment of 2024. Or if he doesn't come out, then it is quite possible that somebody else from the Aam Aadmi Party, most probably Sunita Kejriwal, as it appears to be most likely at this stage, becomes the chief minister. So you have a tradition of people ruling by proxy, on behalf of somebody. Most famously in Ramayana, Bharat did it, keeping the khadau of Ram for 14 years. So it is part of our mythology and we do not reject it. So
that's true.
The story is unfolding, and let's see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting 4th of June, I can very easily say at this time.
So interesting, 4th of June, definitely not a done deal is what the other two analysts are saying. But Prakash, I know you're a BJP spokesperson, but as an analyst also, if you just step back and look, if this election was such a done deal, as BJP people are telling us, then why go in for these measures like, freezing the Congress party's bank accounts or, the Kejriwal arrest? I don't want to go into the details of the case, but generally the perception-wise, how do you see it playing out?
No, I think, Priya, the most problematic thing which I am noticing is that not only here, but a lot of other places, that this election, and people are drawing parallels of this election with the 1977 election. I mean, there is a fundamental difference between the two elections. 1977 election was a vote against emergency. It was done in the backdrop of a very darkest chapter in the history of our constitution. And I think drawing or making comparisons between 2024 and 1977, I think it's totally uncalled for. Second, as far as we are concerned, and like you pointed out in your initial set of observation, that the Bharatiya Janata Party is putting across a very positive, a very constructive vision. In a sense, for instance, you speak of Pradhan Mantri Gyan. So what is the focus on Gyan? G for Garib, Y for Yuva, A for Annadata, N for Nari Shakti. For the first time, what we are witnessing as a young voter, at least I can say that, and not only as a BJP supporter, that the Bharatiya Janata Party leadership, the Bharatiya Janata Party cadre and worker, they are going on the ground and they are saying two things. We have a report card from the last 10 years and we have a roadmap for the next 25 years, which is of Viksit Bharat. We saw the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra and making sure that the Labharti outreach is also done. So that is point number one. Point number two, when you speak of the opposition and a complete miss of direction and a complete disarray, I was listening to NILANJAN ji, and I think, so comparing Mr. Arvind Kejriwal or that moment to Bahuguna or Babu Jagjeevan Ram, I think some more investigation can be done into it, because Mr. Arvind Kejriwal today, we strongly feel that he is nothing but a sophisticated version or a mix of individuals like Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav and Mohammad Shahabuddin. You ask me why. So when Lalu Yadav went to jail, he passed on the baton to Rabri Devi. Arvind Kejriwal goes to jail, he tries to pass on the baton to Sunita Kejriwal. Mohammad Shahabuddin tried to run Siwan from the jail of Siwan. Arvind Kejriwal is trying to run Delhi from the Tihar jail. So I think Arvind Kejriwal today is nothing but, in our view, a mixture, a sophisticated version of Lalu Prasad Yadav and Mohammad Shahabuddin. What you saw at the Ramlila Maidan, it was wife of Arvind Kejriwal, wife of Hemant Soren, son of Lalu Yadav, son of Farooq Abdullah, son of Sonia Gandhi. So it seemed like sons and daughters of the Indian political elite. They came for having a weekend lunch at Delhi Gymkhana Club and then decided, let's go have a rally. So I think there's a complete sense of disarray, complete sense of lack of clarity, because we saw what's happening in Bihar. Did you see any conflict or any dispute when it came to seat sharing? Let's speak of Bihar. There are 5 partners of NDA in Bihar: Chirag Paswan, Upendra Kushwaha, Manjhi, Nitish Kumar, and the Bharatiya Janata Party. And you won't be able to believe that there are still contention going on a seat of Purnia. Papu Yadav, a Bahubali leader, went and joined Congress party. But there is a complete lack of confusion, and the people of India can see through this. That on the one hand, there is a positive constructive agenda for the next 25 years. And on the other hand, there is that lack of clarity, lack of understanding, lack of vision, and more or less an effort or an attempt to legitimize dynasty and corruption that was on display at Ramlila.
Okay, though I have to add, as a member of Delhi Gymkhana Club, we see as many BJP faces as some of the opposition faces. So it's becoming more a BJP stronghold these days. But, and also dynasty, a lot of the dynasty has moved on to the BJP. It's now the joke is that from Congress Nehru, it has become Congress Modi, because all the Congress dynasts are with the BJP. I'm going to take a break.
Can I respond to it, like 10 seconds?
Yeah, sure. Pick.
So when you speak of dynasty in the Bharatiya Janata Party, and again, I think this accusation doesn't hold much water, because in the entire history of Bharatiya Janasangh Priya, or Bharatiya Janata Party for that matter, since 1952 to 2024, you give me one instance when a father has left the chair of the president and the son has joined. That has never happened, surprisingly. Not even in state for chief ministers or for.
But the beginning has been made. You never know. It may.
I just want to comment on
NILANJAN.
Yeah, very quickly. There are 2 kinds of dynastic parties. One where the leadership is dynastic, and where the other one is where the membership is dynastic. So in the BJP, it is the membership which is dynastic. So you, from Pilibhit, you take out one dynastic candidate, Varun Gandhi, and you put in the other one, who's also his father's son. So, Jiten Prasad, is the son of Jitendra Prasad. Correct. So, in the Lok Sabha, if you actually look at it, you will find that the BJP has the largest number of people whose somebody or the other from their family has been there in politics at some point. Even within the Indian cabinet, there are so many people, at least 4 or 5 we can find. And we can also take names, which there's no need to, because you will all understand, there are cabinet ministers whose children have now entered into public life, either politics or some other kind of public life, and they owe their position only because their fathers are where they are, which is in a even within the BJP. So let us not only single out the dynastic when it comes to the leadership of the party. You should also look at the rank and file, that how many dynastic Lok Sabha members are there, how many Rajya Sabha members are there, and then go into the states.
Okay, that is true. I'm going to take a break and
the number of tickets being distributed to dynastic candidates by the BJP.
Dynasty has become a big issue now. The opposition is countercharging the BJP for having its own version of dynastic rule, as much as the BJP says the opposition is a party of dynasts. Rasheed?
Yes, Priya, I think dynasty is being redefined as, NILANJAN gave a kind of a very plausible this thing that why dynasty is perpetuating even in the BJP, NDA, Parivar. After all, what is, Chirag Paswan and all those things are there. See, Priya, I look at it here we are having a, kind of academic kind of discussion, and my friend PRAKASH is also there as more as an analyst rather as a, political activist. So you look at Haryana. What has happened in Haryana is a very kind of telling thing. The 10 Lok Sabha seats all held by BJP. Mr. Modi is there. He can, make all. Conventional wisdom would say that BJP would win all 10, Lok Sabha seats from Haryana this time around. But six Congress leaders are there in the fray on the BJP ticket. How do you explain this? You look at entire, kind of length and breadth of the country. Same thing is happening everywhere. And the BJP is having a biggest challenge for itself for time to come, because there are all kind of, people are joining, the BJP from the right, left, center, Bahubalis, Vanshwati, all kind of people are, so-called corrupt people. Everybody is coming. The BJP is having a problem of plurality. They're saying in Madhya Pradesh, Priya, they're saying Gila Kachara hai. Gila Kachara is something that you cannot even separate. But that Gila Kachara, what is BJP going to do? So this is a very big challenge, and this is one feature of this election that is going to perhaps hurt and hound the BJP for a long time to come. Remember, President doesn't remain static. When the Congress started this dynasty politics at regional level and spreading it to satraps and all, they thought they're going to here for stay. I think dynasty is very wrong at the entry level, because it gives it stops other contender or a genuine political worker from getting into. Who owns the party, who becomes a president, that's a protected thing. And again, since we're having a academic kind of debate here, you look at JP Nadda. Is he a political head of the BJP? Yes and no. Is Malika Arjun Kharge, this thing a political, represent political leadership of Congress? Yes and no.
Okay.
See, as I keep saying, in this election, there are two national parties which are headed by, so to say, Dalit icons. Okay, the BSP as well as the Congress. But is, Dalit politics, Dalit agenda a talking point in 2024? Yes or no? My answer is no. So these are the kind of contradictions are there. So we cannot, it's very difficult to blame one party or the other.
Got it. Which brings me to the other question, Nilanjan. Can there be an emotive issue? What is the emotive issue that the opposition can take? The BJP has Modi. He is the issue, and there is an emotional connect. So, but what about the opposition? Can Kejriwal become that emotive connect, or can the use of ED? What can be the emotive connect?
No, I think, the way of looking at this is that would the voters be swayed by an emotive?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be voting on the basis of their livelihood concerns? Let us not deny, that everybody in this country, a very large, not everybody, there is, of course, the 1% which owns 40% of the total wealth of this country. But, there is a very large number of people in this country who have very acute livelihood concerns. The very fact, that this government, is the BJP publicizes the fact that Mr. Modi, in his Modi Ki Guarantee, I'll come back to it also, is keeping on publicizing that for the next 5 years, this government has declared that they are going to give, free food to 800 million people in this country. Now, the other way of looking at the same thing is that the government has accepted that for the next 5 years, 800 million people in this country would not be able to earn enough so that they can purchase 2 square meals for themselves and their families for the next 5 years, which is actually admission of abject failure on the economic front. Likewise, jobs. Mr. Modi came essentially in 2014 on two promises. One, that he's going to end corruption, he's going to get money back from Swiss banks. We know what has happened with that. We know that none of the corruption cases were ever proved, which is why there is going to be very low credibility of the corruption charges which the BJP is making at the moment. It might appear to be very good on paper in leveling charges and creating a campaign on it, but I do not know if people will repeatedly believe it or not. And the other issue is, of course, that there are no jobs. Mr. Modi promised, millions and millions of jobs. Where are they? So there are questions, which the voters will decide. We will get to know on the 4th of June whether this was an emotional election as in 2019, backed by certain amount of welfare schemes which were run at that point. But now also 5 years later, there is a flip side to every welfare program. For every bank account which has been opened, 10 of them have been opened, 5 are possibly, there is no empirical data, but I'm just saying 5, have zero balance. For every, various other gas cylinders, for instance, for 100 gas cylinders.
I'm going to cut you a bit, we got your trend.
Because people don't have money.
Okay. Guru Prakash, I'll give you the last word. We're out of time, but I know you would want to come back on this.
No, I think dynasty and corruption has been sort of two very important highlights of our discussion. And when I say dynasty, and like I said that we can not point out a single instance where in the entire history of Bharatiya Janata Sangh or Bharatiya Janata Party, a father-son or a father-daughter has become national president, state president, chief minister, or prime minister. Point number one. Point number two, when you say dynasty, I come from Bihar, Priya. We yesterday saw Lalu Yadav bringing Rohini Acharya to Saran as one of the candidates. So what is dynasty? Lalu Yadav would be the supremo of the Rashtriya Janata Dal. His one son will become the deputy chief minister. His another son will become the minister. His wife will become the leader of house in the legislative council. His daughter will go to Rajya Sabha. This is when they are in government. When they are in opposition, in the Vidhan Sabha, the leader of house would be Tejasvi Yadav. In the Vidhan Parishad, the leader of house would be Rabdi Devi.
But you have Chirag Paswan and the Paswan Khandan. Which you
obviously, I'm not absolutely denial. We need a comprehensive परिवारवाद पे व्यापक चर्चा की आवश्यकता है. There is absolutely no denial of that. Coming on the points that Mukhopadhyay ji just brought out, when we speak of inflation, when we speak of unemployment, as a spokesperson of the ruling party, I am openly accepting that has it completely gone? It's absolutely not gone. Is it a problem? It is a problem. It is an issue. But if we do a comparative analysis, the 10 years of the average inflation rate of UPA, the 10 years of the average inflation rate of NDA, the 10 years of the average rate of unemployment of UPA, the 10 years of the average unemployment rate of NDA, I think the story comes out very clearly from 11th largest economy to the 5th largest economy, slated to grow at 7.8% by Modi and separate agencies. Financial inclusion, Ujjwala, Mudra, EPFO registering a crore growth. So I think these are some of the indications which you cannot just wash away. What I said and what I'm going to say it again, that from the side of the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to be a constructive, positive agenda on the basis of our performance of the last 10 years and on the basis of the 25 years of the future, where we are going to present a roadmap of a Viksit Bharat 2047.
Okay. So on that, I agree with you, because the opposition needs to spell more than gloom and doom. They have to come up with some positives. And the other facts are statistics. Do statistics work on the ground, or does anecdotal and personal experience work on the ground? Does the individual feel he's better off or she is better off with the Modi Sarkar or not? That's really going to be the crux of the matter at the end. But thank you so much for this conversation. We're going to come get you all back again and keep an eye on the emerging trends of the Lok Sabha elections 2024. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.